Welcome to Code with Miracle channel. Today we are going to learn Factorial program. Before that, let me try to quickly revise Fibonacci series which we learned in last video. Fib of 0 would be 0, Fib of 1 would be 1. Fib of 2 would be calculated by the sum of last two series, that is Fib of 0 plus Fib of 1 is 1. This is how we calculate. In last video, first we generated Fibonacci series, then we generated sum of n numbers. We've also handled invalid input in the video. If you want to learn, please go and check that video. I've also added that video link in this video description and comment section. If you want to learn, please check it out. Okay, now let's try to run this Fibonacci series program. First it will ask for the series. I'm going to give 4. If 4, it will try to print the result of 5 numbers: fib of 0, fib of 1, fib of 2, fib of 3, fib of 4. If you try to sum this up, 3 plus 2 would be 5, 5 plus 1 would be 6, 6 plus 1 would be 7. And at the end we are also trying to print sum of Fibonacci series is 7, like for that particular series 4. Sum of first 4 Fibonacci series is 7. So this is how it works. Let's try to go into factorial underscore program.py. In factorial, fact of 0 is 1, whereas fib of 0 is 0. This you need to keep in mind. For Fibonacci series, you have to memorize that fib of 0 is 0, fib of 1 is 1. Whereas for factorial, you just need to memorize that fact of 0 is 1. Then fact of 1 can automatically calculate. Fact of 1 would be 1 into fact of 0. Fact of 0 is 1, so 1 into 1 would be 1. Fact of 2 is 2 into fact of 1. Fact of 1 is 1, so 2 into 1 is 2. Fact of 3 is 3 into fact of 2. So based on last result, we will try to generate the current number. Like fact of 3 is depend on fact of 2 results, something like that. Here for Fibonacci, the fact of 2 is Fibonacci series, fib of 2 is dependent on fib of 0 and fib of 1. Here it has dependency of last two result, whereas in factorial we have just one dependency. Here we use this exclamatory symbol to represent that it is a factorial. 0 factorial is 0, 1 factorial is 1, 2 factorial is 2, 3 factorial is 3 into fact of 2. So 3 into 2 is 6. This is how it works. Okay, let's try to implement the code. Before that, first let's try to copy the code from fibonacci.py, because here also we are going to get the number from the user. So I don't want to waste the time. I'm going to copy the code which we written for Fibonacci series, and then I'm going to paste it here. Okay, let's try to hit enter. I'm going to paste my code. Okay, here I have added a while loop. Just I want to quickly revise this to you. Here I have added while loop to ask the input again. If say user provided an string, on that case we will get value error. On that case we need to ask the user to add the input again. So that's why I've added a while. If they provide a valid input, obviously we need to break the loop. That's why I'm having a break here, or else it will go in an infinite loop. I hope you have understood this. Now let's try to update the message. Enter some number for factorial. I'm going to type like this: enter some number. Okay, enter some number for factorial. I'm going to type like this. Here you also need to keep in mind that factorial doesn't work with negative number. It should be a positive number. That's why we started with 0. Enter some number for factorial. Yeah, let's me try to type enter some number for factorial. Okay, successfully typed it. Now we are going to write logic for our factorial program. Let space b, so that it would instead of number of terms, I'm just going to call it as n. Okay, let's try to call it as n. That is fine. Okay, now let's try to write the logic. Sorry, I've removed n2, that's why it's showing this error. Okay, I have added n again. Now let's try to enter again. Now we are going to write our code. I'm going to let's try to use if we don't need if. Okay, let's try to use result variable. Yeah, in this only we are going to store our result. We are going to call this as a variable result equal to 0. I don't want this. I'm not using the result which is coming from unit test. So I've removed the import. Okay. Now I'm going to write a for loop. Okay. For, because we need to multiply, and user can provide any number. Like if they give 5, we need to multiply 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. So I'm going to use a for loop here. I'm going to use like this: for I in range. My range would start from 1, because 0 factorial is 0. We have already assigned 0 to the result variable, so we don't have any problem with that. If they provide 0, then obviously this for loop will not run. It will run, yeah, like 1 comma 1 plus 1. Obviously it will not run 1 comma 1. If start and stop value is same, then it will not run the for loop. Okay, here I'm going to use this result variable. Here what I'm going to do here is result star. This is a shorthand. I want to do result equal to result into I. Let me try to add the long hand, like let me try to expand this so that it would be uh, easily understandable for the one who is starting this Python course for the first time. I've just written this code in a short, so that I don't want to type this long statement result equal to result into I. In short, I've just typed result into equal to I. This is how we write. Okay, let's try to use a print. Print is a built-in function to print the message to the user. Here I'm going to write factorial. Let me try to type for factorial of a number. Factorial of a number. Let me try to do factorial for a number. What can, let me try to do control Z. Okay, let me try to type again. Sorry, my keyboard is behaving weird. Let me try to use F here. If you use F like this, then it is called as F string, formatted string. You can use your variable inside this double quotes. I'm going to use curly brace, and I'm going to refer this variable n, so that it will print. Say if I give 5 factorial, I'm going to type 5 factorial. Let me try to do 5 factorial. 5 factorial is, then I'm going to add let me try to, because we have used f string, right? So you don't need to use comma and add your variable. You can directly specify the variable inside this f string. I'm going to type result. Okay, successfully typed it. I'm going to run my code. Python factorial underscore program. Let me try to type Python factorial underscore program.py. I'm going to enter the number. First, let's try to give 0. If we give 0, then the result should be 0. 0 factorial is 0, working fine. Let's try to give 1. 1 factorial is 1, working fine. Awesome. 2 factorial is 2. Let's try to validate. 2 factorial is 0. Why it is saying 0? It should not be 0, right? Result equal to result into I. I think we are making a mistake here. That's why it is saying that 0. Here you can see, if you use 0 into 1, obviously it would be 0. Here it should not be 0, it should be 1. Okay, try to change it to 1. If you change here, now let's try to run our code again. I want to show another case to you. If I give 2, it will work fine. If I give 3, it will also work fine. But say if I give 0, on that case also it is working fine. So here the mistake which we did was result variable should be assigned to 1, not 0. Because if you do a multiplication with 0, obviously the result will be 0. No matter what's the number, even if you multiply 0 by 1000, it would be 0. I hope you have understood. Thanks for watching.